Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Now on WRAL, police on the scene. This morning, an apartment complex in Rocky Mount is the subject of an investigation. This is a live look from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker as officers are telling our crew to stay back for safety.
And today is another WRAL weather alert day. It's the same pattern. Some heavy downpours could produce some flooding. I'll show you where it's most likely.
Plus, student mental health. Wake County Schools is expanding services for kids in need of support. How the new options could help hundreds more children in the coming school year. And that traditional school year starting in just less than 2 weeks. Summer is flying by. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30. This week hasn't quite been flying by in the sense that it's just been rain every day. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with our gloomy and muggy start.
Yeah, we're going to start off with the flood risk. It's a low risk for most of the viewing area, but our eastern counties just got upgraded to a medium risk. And yesterday, the entire viewing area got upgraded to a medium risk right around lunchtime or so. So we're watching it again. Same sort of pattern. We'll have some heavy downpours. And interestingly enough, yesterday and the day before, the rain began back here near Charlotte and started to work its way into the Sandhills. And the same thing is happening right now. Not quite there yet, but we have a batch of some rain that's about to move into more counties. So Southern Pines, Carthage, you'll see that. Right now, we're pretty dry across the rest of the viewing area. Here's a look at the triangle, but we'll let you know if there is more rain that starts to affect your morning commute. Likely to see that chance of rain go up this afternoon from 30% this morning to 60% later on today. And of course, we're tracking the tropics. Very shortly, we will get the brand new update, the 5 o'clock update. But right now, the storm moving west at 16 with 50-mile-per-hour winds. So it did finally start to gain a little intensity yesterday. Likely to become a hurricane potentially this evening or early tomorrow morning. And then a major hurricane through the weekend and into early next week. You can now start to see that northward turn. We'll talk about where it could be going from there coming up.
Yes, keep turning north. Elizabeth, thank you. This morning, we are following breaking news. Right now, a police investigation is underway at an apartment complex in Rocky Mount. WRAL's Ali Kadlubar is at the Rolling Meadows Apartments. And Ali, within the last 10 minutes, you saw a crisis negotiation team arrive. What else is happening?
Yes, Renee, and we see a lot of police presence here. We see a lot of people outside as well. We're going to move out of the way so that you can see, again, that crisis negotiation unit has just pulled up within the past 10 minutes. We've seen police speaking with people, possibly residents of this apartment complex. They told us when we got here about 30 minutes ago that we needed to move up farther back down the street for safety reasons. And so we know from Broadcastify radio traffic that this was a possible shooting. Even when first responders got here, they were told to stand down, that the shooter was inside. So we are working to find out if the shooter has been arrested, what happened, as well as if there were any injuries. Of course, this is a very active scene right now, so we are working to keep you updated. A police officer on the scene told us he would speak with us shortly. Reporting in Rocky Mount, Ali Kadlubar, WRAL News.
This morning, police are working to find out what led to a shooting at a Raleigh hotel. This happened around 10:30 last night at the Days Inn off Glenwood Avenue near Durley Road. This is video from the scene. We know one person was hurt and taken to the hospital. We're working to learn the extent of the victim's injuries. Police say there is no ongoing threat to the public. Covering Wake County, today we will learn more about mental health resources for your student. Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Salem Middle School in Apex this morning. Kelsey, this is a big expansion of a program that connects kids with therapists. Yes, Renee, it is. Wake schools leaders are working to bring more mental health services to your child's school. This morning, we'll learn more about their expanded partnership with therapy services. And Salem Middle here is one school that's already been participating in this, and more schools will be added to this list soon. Last school year, 286 students received mental health services across the district. Right now, more than half of Wake County schools have a partnership with a therapy service.
Now, this new push comes after the district lost a $14 million mental health grant. That's because the Trump administration cut that funding. School leaders hope to close that gap by using these partnerships to offer teletherapy to students. So we'll hear from a mental health expert and a Wake County school social worker later this morning so we can learn more about these expanded services. We'll be sure to keep you updated. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Apex.
And WRAL has you covered for the start of the new school year. Find out where to find the cheapest supplies, how to prepare your child for the first day, and much more on WRAL.com. Search Back to School. A 15-year-old is accused of killing 3 of his family members in Harnett County. Investigators say the teenager shot and killed his aunt and uncle, Sabrina and Danny Richards. He's also accused of killing Danny's mother, Clara Richards. Sabrina and Danny Richards led Genesis Grace Ministry in Fayetteville. They were both decorated war veterans. Emery Carter was friends with the couple for nearly 3 decades.
They were very giving, they were very caring, they were very loving. There's no way somebody could have did this horrendous act in their right mind.
Friends say the Richards had taken their nephew in to give him a better life. He was found nearly 6 hours after the shooting in the woods in Spring Lake. A man is now in custody in connection with the murder in Raleigh from June. 30-year-old Justin York was arrested in New York. He's accused of shooting and killing 26-year-old Raquel Kurtz. The shooting happened on Colescott Place on June 19th. York is charged with murder and possession of a firearm by a felon, and he's waiting to be brought back to Raleigh. Durham police have made a second arrest for a murder that happened 3 years ago. Marcel Woods is now charged in the 2022 death of Tyler Young. His brother, Marcus Woods, was arrested immediately after the shooting. At the time, Marcus was an employee of the Durham Police Department. Tensions are brewing within a group designed to help academics bring their research to market. NC Innovation gets $500 million in state money to help UNC system schools. State lawmakers put Art Pope on its board of directors. He's a strong critic of the group and a major Republican donor. An internal investigation found he's responsible for wasting money and time and harming the group's reputation. Yesterday, the rest of the board strongly chastised Pope and suggested he resign. Pope said he will not. Today, family and friends say a final goodbye to one of the victims of last week's flooding in Spring Hope. A funeral for Raymond Evans Jr. is scheduled for 1 p.m. at Rocky Chapel Missionary Baptist Church in Lewisburg. He and his stepdaughter, 24-year-old Lottie Alston, died when they got caught in floodwaters. Alston will be laid to rest Saturday. 3 Virginia deputies are recovering this morning after they were hurt during a shootout. This happened just before 5 in Pittsylvania County near Danville. 3 deputies went to a home to serve a warrant and issue a protection order. When they got to the door, the sheriff's office says they were met with gunfire. 2 deputies were hit by shrapnel. A third was taken to the hospital out of caution. The suspect, James Leonard, is in jail and awaiting charges. Another key inflation report is due out this morning. The Producer Price Index tracks the prices that producers and manufacturers receive for their goods from retailers and distributors. Many companies have been holding off on price increases to see how trade negotiations evolved. Research economist Sarah Dickerson spoke with WRAL about what she's expecting to see from today's report.
I think that we're anticipating that inflation is going to be accelerating slightly. I would say this is not anything dramatic that we're anticipating at this time.
Today's report is expected to be out at 8:30 this morning. A new executive order aims to ensure essential medicines are readily available in the U.S. President Donald Trump signed the order yesterday. It directs the Department of Health and Human Services to create a list of 26 essential drugs. The department will then get a 6-month supply of ingredients for those drugs, preferably from a domestic manufacturer. Many active drug ingredients are made in other countries. A flight headed for Los Angeles was suddenly diverted to Colorado after a passenger became unruly. That passenger was arrested after the Breeze Airways flight landed in Grand Junction. The plane took off from Norfolk and was scheduled to travel to Los Angeles. Authorities say the passenger started yelling racial slurs at airline staff. Police say staff tried to put him in restraints twice, but he broke free both times. He then started swinging a belt at fellow passengers.
I've been flying for over 10 years, and I ain't never witnessed no mess like this.
He was saying racial slurs, he was being loud, and I didn't know he attacked anybody until I saw the news.
The airline says a flight attendant and passenger were checked out for minor injuries. Feeding families, local food banks are worried about federal cuts, how SNAP changes will hurt them as the need is at its highest in decades. And fighting wildfires, crews are trying to contain a fire that's burning more than 100,000 acres in California, how changing weather conditions are affecting their work. And today we are expecting some scattered late day storms. This is a live look over Fenton and Cary. Ahead, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will show us how this wet trend will extend into our weekend.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
4:43, taking a look at our weather alert day. Once again, we have the potential for some localized flooding. It's not likely to be terribly widespread. It's just the same pattern. You walk out, you feel all that mugginess, and we start to see the showers, and we know there are going to be some heavy downpours. Interestingly, it's the same location. So this is the third morning in a row that our first wave of rain is coming into Moore County. It doesn't look nearly as heavy as it did yesterday, but you're going to run into a few light showers here in Moore County over the next hour or so. It does look like our better chance will be in the afternoon. It'll go from 30% this morning to about 60% this afternoon. Here's a look at our Garner Tower, and there are a few holes in the clouds out there. It's not much. We're still mostly cloudy. And finally, we start to see a breakdown of the pattern. By Friday and Saturday, we're back to just a 30% chance of rain. I'll show you how that pattern will break down coming up.
Sounds good, Elizabeth. Thank you. A new survey shows money is a burden for most families heading into the new school year. Analysts say 78% of back-to-school shoppers are concerned about technology purchases this year. 46% are worried about rising prices and tariffs on technology. Besides the cost of the item, it has to fit the students' needs.
It really goes down to what it is that your student will need for the back to school year. If it's mainly for creating and reading documents, you might be able to get away with something more budget friendly. But when we start thinking about data analyzation, creating images, you might want to look into something a little bit more pricey that has a better processor, better storage, better memory.
One way you can save is by buying secondhand devices. Just make sure the battery is in good condition and get the return policy and warranty information in case you're not satisfied. A van caught fire, then exploded right outside of Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Authorities say they noticed smoke coming from the glove compartment before the fire broke out. The fire was put out quickly after the explosion. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. The national debt is now past a mark it wasn't expected to hit for another 5 years. It is now more than $37 trillion, according to the Treasury Department. In 2020, the Congressional Budget Office predicted it wouldn't hit $37 trillion until 2030. The debt grew faster than expected because the pandemic shut down much of the economy. Recent tax cuts have also added to the escalating deficit. Advocates for low-income families are calling attention to cuts to federal food assistance, also known as SNAP. The cuts were part of President Trump's spending and cuts bill signed into law last month. Critics say those cuts will make North Carolina's hunger problem worse. Amy Barros is CEO of the Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina. She says programs like hers cannot make up for a 20% cut to SNAP benefits.
4 million people in North Carolina use SNAP to buy groceries. 85% of those are families with children, seniors, or people with disabilities, some of our most vulnerable neighbors. And most live in rural communities.
Barrow said the need for food assistance is the highest it's been in 20 years, even before the cuts. State officials say the SNAP cuts will leave a $700 million hole in the state budget. Crews in California are getting some help fighting wildfires. Weather conditions are changing for the better. Firefighters in Santa Barbara County say they are taking advantage of current conditions to choke out the Gifford fire. They say higher humidity and fewer gusty winds are paving the way for progress.
It seems to be going very favorable for us. They're going to continue today today's going to be a big day for us as far as backfiring goes.
The last few days we've seen humidities in the teens to even single digits, while coming this weekend we'll see humidities more above 30%, which is very helpful for limiting fire weather potential.
The Gifford Fire covers more than 130,000 acres. It is a little over 40% contained, so a lot more work to do. If only we could ship some of our humidity over there to the West Coast and some of this rain. We don't need any more of this rain, Elizabeth, but we're getting more.
We definitely are. So one more day. I think by tomorrow we'll be able to drop the weather alert day. It just looks like we're going to start to break the pattern down a little bit. But more localized flooding is possible today. Again, it's going to be the same story where we're just going to have some pockets where we could see, 1 to 3 inches of rain. Interestingly enough, our first rain of the morning is here in Moore County. We saw that yesterday and the day before. It's not as heavy as it was yesterday, but just some scattered showers getting ready to move into Southern Pines, around Carthage, Bass, and that will continue to lift northward. Our flood risk is low for most of the viewing area, but it is medium along and east of I-95 and then closer to the coast. Yesterday, it was low for most of the day. Once we got closer to lunchtime, the Weather Prediction Center, who issues that particular product, bumped us into the medium risk. So here's a look at, again, today. Here's our look at our flood threat. It's low. A few of our counties are in medium. Just watch the low-lying areas. We're so waterlogged already that places that tend to flood easily could flood again today, given the right amount of rain. But the rain is going to be patchy. It's not going to be widespread, but we do have at least a 60% chance, and of course, some localized flooding. Here's why we're seeing all this heavy rain. We have this solid flow of tropical moisture, fueled by a high-pressure system to our east and a low to our west. The rotation of those systems is just helping to funnel that tropical moisture right into our area. So we have to get rid of this pattern in order to get rid of the rain. So low pressure moves on by as we get through the day today. And by Friday and Saturday, this high starts to dump some drier air over us. So that's a good thing. In the meantime, we're going to see more scattered heavy rain, some downpours, especially this afternoon. Make sure that you've downloaded our newly redesigned WRAL weather app for the latest, or of course, watch us here on TV. Southern Pines still dry, but you got some rain coming your way. 77 is the temperature. Our dew point is 76, and we'll see highs this afternoon in the upper 80s. We're still going to keep it out of the 90s. And we haven't had any 90s so far this month. We could see that on Friday, maybe Sunday and Monday. Tracking the tropics, waiting for that. There's the 5 o'clock advisory. It just came in. Moving west at 17 with winds at 50, so no change since the 11 o'clock advisory. But we do get a brand new forecast track, still on track this evening or overnight to become Cat 1. And then starting to make that northerly turn coming up. I'm going to take a look at our hurricane model plots. That'll take us all the way out into the middle of next week. We're definitely looking at lesser chances for rain over the weekend, but it does get hotter.
Elizabeth, thank you. Stuck in Antarctica, an American influencer arrested as he nears the South Pole. Why authorities say his push for a world record is illegal. Plus, a table tennis trailer. Timothy Chalamet plays a young man dreaming of ping pong greatness. A look at that upcoming movie ahead in our Hollywood Minute. A housing program to help people get back into a home after Helene hit a new milestone. The program, called Renew NC, now has 1,000 applicants. The program gives money to people to help them rebuild or repair their homes. There's more than $800 million available for people in Western North Carolina. An American influencer is stuck in Antarctica while trying to set a world record. 20-year-old pilot and influencer Ethan Guo was attempting to be the first person to travel to all 7 continents solo. Guo was also sharing videos of the journey to raise money for child cancer research. Well, now he's facing legal troubles in the Antarctic. Authorities say he provided false flight plan data and flew to the continent in his single-engine Cessna illegally.
The options available in South America were not great options, because it's pitch black and I don't have instruments. That means I cannot land at these airports safely because they're in the middle of these mountains.
A judge dropped charges against Guo in exchange for him donating $30,000 to child cancer research. He also must leave as soon as weather conditions allow. A Texas oil drama makes its TV return. Plus, Timothy Chalamet's next film. David Daniel shares your entertainment headlines in today's Hollywood Minute.
I know it's hard to believe, but I'm telling you, this game, it fills stadiums overseas. And it's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
The first teaser trailer is out for Marty Supreme, starring Timothée Chalamet as a young man with dreams of ping pong greatness. The comic drama from director Josh Safdie is due in theaters December 25th.
I wouldn't want to have your job this week. You wouldn't want to have my job any week.
Landman is coming back. Paramount Plus has announced the West Texas oil drama will return for season 2 on November 16th. Billy Bob Thornton earned a Golden Globe nomination for his starring role in the hit series.
She's got everything delightful. She's got everything I need.
It's time for Deadheads to meet up at the movies again. The Grateful Dead movie is back for the band's 60th anniversary. This year, for the first time, some screenings will be in IMAX. The celebration begins today. Locations and tickets at meetupatthemovies.com. Still truckin' in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Officers investigate. This morning, a Rocky Mount apartment complex is a crime scene. Ahead at 5, we'll take you out to the WRAL Breaking News Tracker on Barber Court. Plus, Central student killed. A master's student in Durham was shot. What her mother is saying about their connection to the shooter. And student therapy services. Today, we'll learn more about Wake County Schools' mental health plans. What we know about plans for student support.